Hello, welcome pen friends. Welcome to the progress report for April 2022. This is where I talk about what pens I still have inked up and what I might have added to it. And we'll go into two of my ink journals. One is a Unison composition book and one is a Tomoy River journal. And we'll just kind of look at my impressions so far. We're about midway in April 2022. So first I wanted to show you that I did move everything into my Nock Sinclair. So I've got 8 pens in here. Yesterday I had 9 and everything didn't fit. But yesterday evening, making notes, my Diamond 580 with the my Twisby that had the Laban Athena, it was so funny. All of a sudden, I wrote it dry, but I couldn't tell because that gray had kind of coated the outside of it. So I thought I was still going on a full tank. Anyway, so that made room, and I was able to consolidate. So I'm going to pull out what I'm primarily focusing on for April, which is, see if I can. I probably won't have them in order. Well, maybe. Okay, the Opus 88 Koloro in red, and then the I don't know why I worry about order. The Pilot Vanishing Point Rhodium Gunmetal, okay? And then, let's see what's next. Twisby Diamond 580 AL. And then this is the one that I just inked up with the beautiful Sailor Vermont. I made a post about it yesterday. So I did go ahead, as soon as this came in, and a special thank you to pen friend Marilyn for sending me this ink. I love it, and it's my home state, which what it does is it makes it, this is what it makes it. It makes it that I have each state I've lived in the Sailor 50 states, and I think that's so cool. So I grew up in Vermont, left home at 17 for college in Oklahoma, and then ended up back in Oklahoma. So I was in Muskogee, Oklahoma for college, and then I ended up back in Enid, Oklahoma in the Air Force, and now Texas. I've been here for 30 years. So, and I do have one more. I have the Sailor Louisiana because I just couldn't resist the color, but we're going to get in depth about that one because that's one of our colors. And if you saw the other video, which I will link, you already kind of know what I'm writing with, but now it's the nitty gritty for me to decide, are these matchups working? What's going on here? So let's just dive right in. I think I'd like to start in the Unison composition book, and that was also sent to me by pen friend Marilyn. It's a 50-cent notebook, and it is worth every penny and then some because it's actually just as good as the CVS caliber. The build quality of the notebook itself, as far as the external you know, maybe the cover, you couldn't really compare because the CVS caliber is a little bit more sturdy. But actually it's kind of nice because then if you do, you know, you're not having too much trouble like folding it back, where I have to really kind of work on that one. Okay, but let's see where we're at here. I can get off on a tangent before I even start. Okay, I actually want to go in order. So sort of the order that I had here in mind was this. Oh my gosh, it's been something. Anyway, let's put it that way. But this is the Refuge Time. This is the hobby that kind of helps me have a little fun in my life no matter what's happening, and I'm sure it's that way for many people. So we've got the Opus 88 Koloro in red with the broad nib, and this is Ferris wheel press Algonquin maple. And it's so funny because it's kind of the opposite end of the seasons, because this is great for fall, but it's also maple syrup season back home. And so anything that evokes Vermont, which now we've got 2 inks, we've got 2 that evoke my homesickness, which is okay because it's kind of good in a way. Anyway, this is excellent. This gets at least an A, but as I was going over it, I wondered why I wasn't giving it an A+. And I think it's the color season kind of thing, because I'm a harsh grader, if you haven't figured that out already. Yeah, I'm real picky, but I love this ink and pen combination. It's tried and true, and I do miss Vermont, and it is maple syrup season up there. Well, I can't be exactly sure because it could have passed a little bit already. I'm a little bit out of sync, but it's in general, I'd be trying to get maple syrup from whoever had already made it, or depending on how the weather is, we'd be waiting for the sap to run. But to be honest, I haven't talked to my brother and I don't know how it's going. I'm not sure whether he's doing that this year, but he actually has done small production of maple syrup. So, okay. So this ink does make me think more of fall. It's like a really beautiful, the most beautiful of the leaves that fall. You know, you get yellow and orange and red, you know, but not as many of the reds. And that's kind of where it falls for me. But I love this. I just absolutely love it. And I love how it looks when you get the water brush, which is here. Probably needs a good cleaning. I use it so much it's going to wear out. But okay, so that's going really great, and I gave it an A. And it's really great on this cheaper paper too. There's absolutely no problems with smoothness and flow, and you don't lose vibrancy. With some of the colors you do, like with one of the Laban colors, I did lose vibrancy on this kind of paper. But, you know, everything does, it seems like, does great on Tomoe River paper, but this is bargain paper, and I find that this combination is great. So next up is the Pilot Vanishing Point with a medium nib and this beautiful Sailor 50 States Louisiana. I wasn't going to buy any more of the Sailor inks because the little bottles are so pricey, but when I saw this color come out, and then I saw it on Instagram. There's an artist, sponsored person who does beautiful art. I can't think of his name, but I'll try to find it so I can link to his Instagram. Oh, it was the death of me. That was it. I had to buy the bottle. Well, I haven't made very many purchases this year, but that's one of the very few that I did. So it's beautiful. It's great in this pen. It's smooth and it looks nice. The splatter was kind of impressive. It's got some kind of almost greenish sheen, and it's spectacular in the splatter too. And then it just has nice shading even on this cheaper paper. It's vibrant and pretty, but I find myself kind of worrying about writing it dry because it's just got the converter in it and it doesn't hold much ink. So my next step for this one, and I gave this an A too, I want to try it in a larger capacity pen, and I want to try it with a broad nib because I mean, this is a nice juicy medium, but I'd actually love to see it in the pen that I have the cross violet in. I'd love to see it in this one, but I refilled this and it's got 2.5, 3 mils of ink in it. So anyway, that was what was crossing my mind. So I thought I'd write it down so I wouldn't forget. Okay, and then next up is, oh, I'm afraid this is probably crooked because I'm having trouble seeing it. Okay, next up is the Twisby Diamond 580 AL. It has the broad nib unit in it. It's not the broadest broad ever, but it is nice. And it has the Laban Athena in it, and it's just a beautiful ink. It's got a lot of complexity. Okay, I gave this an A-, but I believe it's the nib ink pairing. I think, too, that if I get this ink into a wetter nib, I will be more happy. I'm thinking even my Fountain Pen Revolution Ultraflex, it would be really great because it's such a pretty ink, but I think it needs the most flowy possible nib. I'm not trying to call the ink dry. It's way too soon to do that. I don't think it is. But I do think that this particular Twisby broad nib, I'm not disliking it at all, but I'm liking it a lot better on Tomoe River paper. And I'm the type of person who every morning I'm taking notes on this kind of paper, the cheaper paper. So it puts me in a little bit of a more, I'll start writing with it and then it'll sort of, I'll get maybe a couple sentences done, and as I go down, it'll lighten up a little. It maybe isn't keeping up with me And then the nib just seems a little dry. Maybe I need to open that nib a little bit. But I love what it does with the water brush. It's beautiful. Probably should have just given it just an A. What would that have been? Straight A's? Gee whiz. I'm a harsh teacher here, or whatever it is I'm trying to be. Okay. So now I will go backwards because it was the order of me inking up. I hadn't shown you this combination when I came on in the beginning of the month. So when Pen Friend Marilyn, when this little box came in the mail the other day, which by the way, it was a really rough day when I got the wonderful pen mail from him and another pen friend Sharon. It was really like a big pick-me-up. But anyway, this is the ink, and I did put it in my Stylo and Style Opus 88 special, it's their special edition of the demonstrator, and it has the broad, juicy broad nib on it. And I just love this pen, and I felt like it surprised me how great of a match that was, especially to these swirls in the pen. Anyway, that doesn't matter, and yet it's kind of fun when that happens. Let's see if we can show you. So Sailor 50 States, Vermont. And it's got this like almost like purple sheen. At first I thought it was red, but to my eye, I'm seeing it more as a violet or a purple, or even I guess I called it plum. So it's quite spectacular. It really is. And it looks great in this. And this is really good on the cheaper paper. It's excellent on my CVS caliber. I've already taken notes out of a book I'm reading right now. And I like it on this too. I didn't feel it wasn't dragging. It didn't feel like dry. Of these, okay, this is the only one. The Ferris Wheel Press Algonquin Maple ink in this nib is the only one that flows smoother than this one. So, I mean, and it's very close. But anyway, I'm not sure whether that is actually helpful. I don't know. But definitely for me it is, because every morning I wake up and I get up at 5 with Coco gets me up, and I just can't tolerate screens or a bunch of noise so early. So I'm in a notebook and a book of some kind trying to, learn something rather informally and sometimes not real awake. But anyway, that's what I do. So let's see what my notes. Okay, this is an early impression, but doesn't take me long to know, after all the tests and checking I've done, that this is great. It's a good combination. And I misspelled my home state and had to add an N. I don't understand. I really don't. But anyway, that's what happened. Okay. So let's see. The one that I cleaned out, we'll go back and look at that. I don't have the pen right here. So it was the Diamond 580, the purple one with Laban Athena gray that I completely cleaned it out. Yeah, it's finished. I've cleaned it this morning. I finished it yesterday. So that's awesome. I love that when that happens. Okay, so that's it for this one. And then let's just peek into the formal report card area here, I guess. See if there's anything else that I wrote. I don't know. Oops. Because, gee, I was going to try to pick a favorite out of these, which is very hard. Especially after, oh, look, I did. I was going to say maybe I did inconsistent grading. Let me check. No, A minus, AA. No, okay, I got it together. It's funny, if you don't see the same twice, you kind of wonder about your decisions. But yeah, it's pretty much the same information, but this has been a book I've wanted to fill. And when I get it finished, I'll do a complete ink journal flip through of it, even though it's a little bit funny. It's got some weird pages, but it has a couple of really interesting things to remember. So I put notes. Would love to try Sailor 50 States, Louisiana. That's this ink. In a larger capacity pen. Opus 88 or Genhel Broad. Okay, I think that's having to do not just with capacity, but with nib, yeah. Because this is a nice medium nib, a gold nib, but still, it's not the juiciest. And then, oh, notice I'm reaching most for the Opus 88 Omar with Cross Violet. Okay, so that's true. So if I was picking between these four, it would be this one. This still winning, and it's the second fill. So I had it all of March, and now I'm on a second fill. This cross violet is impressive. Let's see if we can find the original input for that. Pretty sure it's right here somewhere. Maybe not. Maybe it was even before that. Oh dear. I've abandoned you. There it is. Okay. Oh, this is February. Oh, this has been going on a while. This is like some kind of a love story here with the yeah. Okay, because I mean, I dated the page, and I should be doing that with all of them probably, except for when I do them all on the first, and then yeah, that's nice. I mean, my opinion hasn't changed. I just keep reaching for it. But if we eliminate this one, because this isn't really an April discovery or test, I'd have to say this is the best writing experience. So Ferris wheel press with Algonquin maple and this nice broad Opus number 5 nib is super smooth on anything. It's a fire hose, a nice smooth one. And so it's the winner. And then I'm just not thinking that this is a great best combination ink and nib, but it's great. I love the color and everything. And then here, same thing. I love this color and I love this pen, but I think I can do better with this ink and another pen, and I think this pen can do better with a different ink. I know Sailor Grenade was really wonderful in this. And then, of course, we've got a winner with this one, too. I gave it an A+. Yeah, so this has just been since it came through the door. So, you know, I can't really compare. These are so different colors and everything. And this is a number 6 nib. And this is a number 5 nib. So we're apples and oranges. Oh my gosh, not the right color, but anyway. Okay, so it's going pretty well, especially considering all the other stressors, challenges, and sadness, and so on, which I mostly post on Instagram, so I don't want to go over that here. I want to keep us, keep us a little bit lighter here. But I will say I started a new notebook for my emergency preps a little while back. Let's see, I don't know if I dated this book. I should have if I didn't. No, I didn't. I didn't date it. But I do have an index. I have, things that we keep. We live in hurricane country. And so I wanted, after I gave Manuel the book to look at, it came back with some kind of food on it. But that's good. This is I ordered it off Amazon, and it's like a military type book. It is not as good a quality as the ones they issue, because with the pen test I had lots of bleed through, and I know that my friend Claire does not get this with the issued books or the different ones. So I'm wondering if I got a bad batch or there's a big difference. And I think there is, because I noticed on hers this number is different. Federal Supply, it's just a little different. I paid for this off of Amazon. Let's see what we got going on in here. It's nothing top secret. Oh, see, because we live in hurricane country, we have to keep a lot of stuff ready. I glued in like a hurricane supply kit information. This is just a guideline though. We have to think about other storms we've had and what happened to us when we didn't have power for a couple of weeks after Harvey and that kind of thing. So we have to use our own brains, but also it's nice, have an index. And then I changed everything there. Had an inventory of non-food items, a wish list. Oh, portable fridge. That has to do with camping, I think. But, I listed what was scarce back in March of 2020, which, it's never going to be the same twice probably. Our most used food items. This was so that actually I could go through and try to eliminate a bunch of stuff so we weren't dependent on so many different things. Overlooked. I make notes too when I watch videos. It's a way of me dumping all of my hurricane preparedness notes into this book, And also I can hand it to Manuel and he can see kind of the inventory list too. And we can not worry, we could just prepare. Especially when you're on a budget, you really want to try to think ahead on things, and you don't want to have to find yourself waiting until there's a run in the store. So I do like the use of the notebook for that. It's got the lines. It's a little bit, you know, but it does lay flat once you really work at it. So I do like it. Go bag suggested items. Oh, apparently I watched somebody's. I have to be really careful because I can watch the prepper videos and I can get real anxious, and there's no need of that. I was in the military. Disaster preparedness is just being ready, being organized, and using your head. You know where you live, you know what kinds of things have happened to you in the past, and your local media alone will tell you you should have batteries, you should have flashlights, you should have water, you might have to go, you know, several days or weeks without power. So, okay, that's the end of that. This notebook also is doing real good, but I'm not using fountain pens in it that much. I know. That's crazy. The only one I'm using in this one is the Twisby Eco with Graf von Faber-Castell. It does not bleed through, and it's kind of like, I hate to open this because with all the I don't want to say trauma, but with the sadness and with the different things I'm working through, heaven knows what I got in there. But I did do a pen test, though. I got my feelings chart in the back. I got Julia Quinn's books all kind of listed. My pen test kind of got covered. I didn't really have any bleed through with Tender Purple either, or Faber-Castell. The Twisby medium nibs do pretty good. This is a $3 notebook that I bought at a Family Dollar a long time ago, and I'm shopping my own shelf this year as much as I can. So the Opus 88 Omar Broad, that didn't bleed through either. You know what? I'm just not paying attention because I didn't realize that the Cross Violet hadn't bled through. I could probably use more. The problem I run into, though, is I like to write in my journal and then take my tombos and go over the top of stuff. So that's something I've been running into with this notebook. Let's see if I can show you what I mean. Well, I don't want to ruin anything. It doesn't really matter. But, like, see, it isn't real. It's better if you use a ballpoint pen or an ink that's going to stay real stable. Actually, Graf von Faber-Castell can probably handle that. So it's just a matter, when I sit down to journal, not that I'm in a hurry, but I don't want to find any excuse to not write. So I just write with whatever, and I just go on. So that is how things are going in my ink testing, and it's slow. I'm in the slow lane. I'm not trying to do too many, but I'm really enjoying what I do have. Actually making more, still ending up with 8 total inked up. So that's actually pretty good. I don't think I could ever end up staying with just 3, but I could see myself doing just 3 new ones each month and cleaning out and trying to keep it down to 8. That I can definitely see. Oh, this is just such a pretty ink. I could just look at this all day. But we're getting a long video here. Okay, so this is right before the long Easter weekend, and I want to wish you a happy Easter, and I want to wish you joy, happiness, safety, and prosperity. So I will see you in the next video. I'm not sure when it'll be, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm just operating in the slow lane here. And thank you very much for all of your views and contributions and letters and thoughts and prayers. Bye for now.